Hi, boys and girls, welcome back. Today we are going to be comparing cultures, the Japanese culture and your own culture. This week you've had a chance to think more about what you learned from reading The Dragon of the Red Dawn and thinking about the Japanese culture, but you're also going to be comparing that with your own culture. So our targets today are I can identify similarities between cultures and I can identify differences between cultures. So when we are comparing and contrasting, that means that we are talking about how something is the same and how they are different. So if we compare means that we are talking about how they are the same. If we contrast, we are talking about how they are different. And one thing that we can use to help us compare and contrast is a Venn diagram. A Venn diagram is made up of circles. In this case, we're going to be using two circles to compare and contrast the Japanese culture with your own culture. And in one circle, you're going to talk about how the Japanese culture is different than your culture. And in the other circle, you're going to be talking about your culture and how that is different than the Japanese culture. In the middle, where the two circles come together, you're going to be comparing your culture and the Japanese culture. So what is the same about the two cultures? So we're going to look at an example. Here's a Venn diagram that has just a couple examples of the Japanese culture and my culture. So if you notice on the outer part of the circle, this part of the circle, we are contrasting Japan and my culture. So in Japan, they wear kimonos, and I wear jeans and flip-flops. Another thing that is different is they pick up and eat their food with chopsticks, where I eat my food with a fork and a spoon. So now if I go to this center where the two circles are combining, that is where we're talking about what is the same. So one example of something that's similar with the Japanese culture and my culture is drinking tea. So today you're going to have a chance to complete a Venn diagram that looks very similar to this. You're going to give 2 to 3 examples of how the Japanese culture is different than your culture, and at least 2 examples of how they are the same.